Her eyes carried exhaustion, yet a forced smile clung to her face, as if life had written sorrow upon her, and she covered it with lipstick. Zoya, 28, a woman everyone called perfect, was broken inside. Every night she fought herself and lost. One sentence from her doctor had shattered her world: "You can't be a mother." From that day, every joy felt half-colored, every dream incomplete. Zoya decided love wasn't for her anymore. To her, love meant pain, a memory that deepened the more she tried to forget. She built a wall around her heart, allowing no one in. Work, silence, and solitude became her refuge. But amid that silence appeared Aries, a man with a calm smile and eyes that felt like peace. Something stirred in Zoya's heart whenever he was near. He was the kind of man who had learned both pain and patience from life. Their first meeting happened outside an orphanage. Zoya had gone there to make a donation, but she left with something else, a feeling. Aries was playing with children, laughing like one of them. That simple sight awakened something inside her. He looked at her and said, "Do you always stay this serious? Life isn't that bad." She smiled faintly, hiding her pain. "If you knew my story," she thought, "you'd understand this smile as a disguise." Out loud she said, "Some smiles are just habits." Aries stayed silent, but his eyes whispered, "I understand." Day by day, they grew closer. They met often at the orphanage, spending time with the kids. Zoya began to feel a warmth she hadn't known in years, yet fear still lingered. What if he learns the truth? What if he leaves? One evening, when the children were asleep, Aries asked softly, "Zoya, what are you hiding?" His words shook the defenses she had built. "Everyone has a past," she said. "Mine's just painful." He answered gently, "I'm not afraid of pain." That night, Zoya gathered her courage. "I can't be a mother," she whispered, her voice breaking. She lowered her head, feeling hollow. Aries said nothing for a moment, then asked quietly, "And you think that makes you any less of a person?" Tears streamed down her face. "Every girl dreams of becoming a mother. When I learned I never could, I felt incomplete." Aries reached out and held her hand, a touch warm enough to melt the frost around her heart. He said, "One day you'll realize God took something from you only to give you something greater." "And what's that?" she asked. Aries smiled. "Patience." Days passed. Zoya began to open up again. But one afternoon she saw Aries walking some children to school. Her heart trembled. Is he married? Are those his kids? Doubt began to grow like a thorn. She started to avoid him, stopped answering calls, stopped visiting the orphanage. Aries was confused and worried. Finally, he texted her, "I want to show you something. Just meet me once." She sighed, "Once more. Then it's over." When she arrived, Aries stood at the orphanage gate, with 3 little children beside him. Their tiny hands held flowers, their smiles glowed. "You said you can't be a mother," he said gently. "But I say you already are, you just haven't realized it yet." Zoya froze. The children ran forward, shouting together, "Mama." Her tears flowed freely, washing away years of buried pain. Yet, the story wasn't over. In that moment, Zoya couldn't breathe. Those children's eyes shone with a love she'd never felt. Aries's calm voice broke the silence. "They're not mine, they're ours." He explained softly, "These kids lost everything. I wanted to adopt them, but I realized they don't just need a father. They need a mother." Zoya stared, her heart trembling. For the first time, she didn't feel broken. Aries placed a hand on one child's head. "They taught me how to live. Now, you'll teach them how to love." "But, I don't know how," Zoya whispered. Aries smiled. "To be a mother, you don't need to give birth, you just need a heart. And yours is the biggest one I know." That day, her world changed. The words that once broke her, "You can't be a mother," turned into a promise, "You are a mother." She hugged the children tightly, feeling her soul awaken for the first time. Aries whispered, "This is your new beginning." Days turned into months. Zoya became Mama Zoya, at the orphanage, preparing breakfasts, telling bedtime stories, fixing tiny shoes. Her laughter returned, softer but real. Aries stayed by her side, quietly proud. One evening, little Miriam hugged her and said, "Mama, when I grow up, I'll be just like you." Tears glistened in Zoya's eyes. "No, My love, she smiled, be better than me. That night she realized, motherhood isn't about giving birth, it's about giving love. Aries was no longer just a friend, he was her partner in everything. She saw how tirelessly he worked for the children, how deeply he cared. She thought, this is what home feels like. But then, one morning, Aries disappeared. 3 days passed without a word. Fear crept in again. Was I meant to lose him too? But on the 4th morning, she arrived at the orphanage and froze. A new signboard gleamed above the gate. Zoya Aries Foundation, for every child who needs a mother. Tears blurred her vision as Aries appeared with flowers. I thought you deserved a place where every child could call you, Mama. So I made it yours, he said softly. Zoya walked forward and hugged him tight. Children clapped and cheered, Miriam threw petals in the air. Peace settled over Zoya's heart. Aries whispered, I told you God took something away to give you something better. What did he give me? She asked, looking into his eyes. Aries smiled, taking her hand. Me. Time stood still. The children shouted, Mama and Papa. Zoya laughed through her tears. Now everything's complete. Years passed, but the orphanage only grew brighter. Every corner echoed with laughter, every wall carried a prayer. Zoya learned that motherhood is not a bond of blood, it's a choice of the heart. Aries learned that love never leaves you empty, it simply changes its form. One evening, they sat together on the rooftop, watching the sunset. Aries said, when I first saw you, I knew you were hiding a heaven behind your pain. Zoya smiled softly, and you're the man who found his way to that heaven. Paragraph 28, final. She looked at the horizon as the sun faded into gold. I once thought I could never be a mother, she whispered, but today, I'm a mother to a world. Aries squeezed her hand, and I'm the happiest man in it. Children's laughter filled the air, and in that golden light, their story found its forever.